Ladies, gentlemen, and anyone who's lived in a pineapple under the sea, welcome to the Wednesday Night Jokenet here on the 146895 repeater. This is KE8PVL, your net control for the evening. My name is Nemo, November Echo, Mike Oscar, and I am located in Denmark Township. Before I go any further, is there anyone that needs this repeater for emergency or priority traffic? Alright, nothing heard. If anybody does need the repeater for emergency or priority traffic, please break in at any time with break in your call sign. We will concede the repeater for the duration of your emergency. Again, welcome to the Wednesday Night Jokenet here on the 146895 repeater. All traffic should go through net control. As this is a, that kind of net. Alright, everybody with a valid amateur radio license is encouraged to participate. And everybody who's just hanging out around the radio and or listening on scanners or YouTube or wherever else, we thank you guys for taking the time out to listen. Appreciate it. This net meets every Wednesday night on this repeater, and the purpose of this net is to have fun, making each other laugh, coming up with crazy punchlines for this week's joke. This is a 3-round net, so please stick around or you may miss something. Before I go down the list of regular check-ins, let me just say that this repeater is owned and operated by Tom NHCT, and it is available for public use. It has a standard offset and a PL tone of 141.3 for those of you checking into it via RF, and for those on Echolink, the node for that is W8IJC-L. Please treat the repeater like it's got a 2-minute timeout and allow for clean breaks between transmissions. Other than that, we are good to go. Let me break for time and we'll go down the list of regular check-ins and we'll see who all's here tonight. Well, I'm happy to say the list has grown, but we will start right at the top of the list, as always, with Jeff, KC8, LAR. Good to have. Are you with us tonight?
KC8, LAR, present, with a starfish.
All right, we'll take that starfish, and we'll reach out to Wayne, Alpha Charlie 8, Yankee Juliet.
Good evening, Alpha Charlie 8, Yankee Juliet.
All right, Wayne, pleasure having you with us tonight, as always. Let's go down to Dan, N8DRL.
I'm here, N8DRL.
All right, very good. Thank you for joining us tonight. We'll reach out to Sonny, KD8, LHR.
KD8, LHR, checking in.
All right, Sonny, thank you for being here. Appreciate it, man. How about Ken down there in Andover, KE8YBN? All right, well, nothing heard there. Hopefully he's doing okay. Maybe he'll check in with us a little later. Let's reach out to Jim, KE8LFR. All right, Jim's with us tonight and doesn't sound like he's mobile. Very good. Thank you for joining us tonight, Jim. We'll reach over to Frank, my neighbor down the road, KE8ZHH.
KE8ZHH, present.
All right, Frank, good to hear from you tonight. Glad you're able to join us. Let's try Ruth Ann, KE8ZVO. Okay, I don't know if there's a Rose Club meeting tonight, but I'm gonna have to start paying attention to that. I know she loves doing that. W8KNO down there in Hiram, are you with us tonight, Joe? Okay, nothing heard. Hopefully the storm didn't do any damage to him down there. We've been getting 1 to 3 every day for the last week or so. So, man, it hasn't been bad, but it's enough. We'll go out to Drew, Alpha 8, Delta Lima. All right, well, he's not around this evening, at least not right this second. That was a station ID. That doesn't count. We'll go to Tom, KE8QWG.
KE8QWG, President California.
All right, Tom, becoming a regular. Thank you for that. Appreciate it, sir. And we'll go out to Cleveland Heights, K8TIE. Dave, are you with us?
I'm here, King 8, Terrorite and Easy, enjoying some food from the Octopus's Garden under the sea. K8TA, back to net control.
W8IJC Link.
All right, under the sea. We'll take that too. And we'll keep on moving on down the list here. We'll go out to Ron, KC8RJO. All right, maybe he'll join us a little later. How about Drew? November 2, Alpha Kilo Juliet. All right, nothing heard there. We'll go out to Jerry, N3 EVT. All right, we'll take that one too. Jerry, below ground level, I'm not going to comment back on that one, but we've got that in there. Very good. We'll talk to Vito if he's around. Alpha Delta 8, Oscar India. Okay, well, that's going to round out the list as I have it. Is there anybody I might have missed? Anybody that wants to check in or any new calls? Please call K8PVL with the Wednesday Night Jokenet.
K8YQL.
K8YQL. Chris got you in there. Anybody else?
Here is K8NF.
All right, K8DNF. Joe, thanks for joining us tonight. Appreciate that. Anybody else? I'm pretty sure I heard KE8ZVO. Ruth Ann, are you with us this evening? Okay, nothing heard there. Maybe she's just barely holding the repeater. Hopefully she'll find a magic spot. She might be on an HT for some reason, but that's okay. One more call out. Anybody else want to check in? Please call K8PVL.
I'm not sure if you got my call or check-in. This is Alpha Delta 8 Oscar India on Echolink.
Alpha Delta 8 Oscar India, thank you for checking in with us tonight. Man, Vito, I'm sorry about that. I might have just not waited long enough. I try and give everybody a good shot at it. I know Echolink takes a little longer. Apologize on that. Got you in there, and thank you for joining us, man. One more time out. Anybody wants to join the Wednesday Night Jokenet, please call. All right, locked in. Thank you for being here tonight, everybody. Appreciate that. Good group of guys tonight and ladies. I know you're out there somewhere. We'll get into this week's joke. Put your thinking caps on your funny bones, and here we go. All right, so this week's joke is, how many trees do you need to make music? This week's joke, how many trees do you need to make music? And we're going to start with Chris, KE8YQL. Haha, you're jumping in the hot seat tonight, sir. And how many trees do you need to make music?
Good evening, Nemo. KE8YQL here. How many trees do you need to make music? This is probably a great joke, and as a musician, I feel like I should probably even know the answer, but I do not, so I'm going to take a stab at it. And I'm going to say, you only need probably 2 trees to make music. KE8YQL, back to net.
All right, there's a good numerical answer. 1's the loneliest number, and 2 can be... Oh, wait, never mind. I'm not allowed to go any further than that on the radio. But we all get the drift. Sway back and forth. Never mind. I'm not... Quick quoting songs. K8DNF. Joe, good to have you with us tonight, my friend. How many trees do you need to make music?
Well, Nemo, the answer to your joke is going to be depending on what instrument you're making. I want to say like 3 or 4 for like the biggest instrument.
All right, 3 to 4, very good. Let's see if that was really Ruth Ann out there. KE8ZVO, are you out there?
VVO? I'm on Echolink.
All right, very good. You actually took a trip, and I just remembered that you were saying that. So thank you for joining us via Echolink and taking time out of your vacation. Appreciate that. And tonight's joke, how many trees do you need to make music?
You think it's 1, but I don't know why.
All right, we've got a 1, and that'll move us down the list. Alpha Delta 8, Oscar India, Vito, thank you for joining us again tonight. And how many trees do you need to make music?
To 6.
All right, we're getting some ranges in here. That's a whole lot of talking drums, 4 to 6 trees. Okay, keeping on going. That puts us over to Jeff, KC8 LAR. Good to have you with us tonight, my friend. And how many trees does it take to make music?
KCA LAR to net control. Well, I don't know how many trees it takes, but I know they got the woodwinds covered. Back to net control.
All right, so we got the woodwinds and the talking drums. Very good. We'll keep on going. Alpha Charlie 8, Yankee Juliet, Wayne, how many trees does it take to make music?
I'll say 4 trees.
All right, we got 4 trees. Some simple answers tonight, but that's okay. Good guessing on the ranges, though. That's a good one. We'll go to Dan N8DRL down there in the valley. How many trees does it take to make music?
I'm not quite sure what kind went, but Jeff's response is pretty funny. I think you're wrong.
keep on moving down the list here. We'll go down to Sunny, KD8LHR. Good to have you with us tonight, man. How are you, and how many trees does it take to make music?
Potato chips and chocolate milk, Nemo. That's where I'm gonna be chewing on and sipping on in the I don't know room.
All right, potato chips and chocolate milk in the I don't know room. Don't let Dan in there with the chocolate milk. But hey, whatever. We'll keep on going. Jim, K8LFR, great to have you with us, sir. How many trees does it take to make music?
Thanks, Nemo. Good to be here. As far as the joke, I haven't got a clue. I can't even, I just don't know. You got me. Back to net.
All right, I got you. I got a lot of strikeouts tonight there. I think I got a lot of stumper there ones. All right, we'll keep on going. Frank, good to have you with us, sir. Kilo Echo 8 Zebra Hotel. How many trees does it take to make music?
Being a musician is the easy one. I don't understand why so many people are striking out. It takes a cord of trees, firewood, to make music. Actually, 3 notes to make a chord, if you want to get technical. I'm going to say a chord. Back to net control.
Okay, I like that. That's right down the list here. We're rounding it out. I know that I have a long distance check-in, and we'll get to that in just a second here. But we'll go down to KE8QWG. Tom, good to have you with us, sir. And why do you need, or how many trees do you need to make music?
Well, I can tell you, I love Frank's answer there. That was great. But my answer was just one, because music's made to the wind. But I like Frank's answer a whole lot better.
All right, very good. I'll take a 1. We got 2 on the ones, so there we go. We'll keep on going. We'll hit Dave K8TIE tonight. Thank you for joining us. And how many trees does it take to make music?
Yes. Well, enough different parts to sing Doggy in the Window. That's my answer.
W8IJC Link.
All right, very good. I like that answer too. Let's round this out with N3 EVT. Jerry, good to have you with us tonight, sir. How many trees does it take to make music?
Well, you would probably know this better than I, but I was guessing that it took 50 small trees to make a chord. So that'd be my guess.
All right, so we got another answer on the chord side there. I'm liking that one too. That rounds out the list as I have it. People locked in, and I do know that Ken's trying to check in, so we'll take a second and see if he can get in the door here. KE8YBN coming out of Andover. Are you with us, sir? Okay, well, we'll give him some time to work that out. I know he's down there trying to figure his Echolink stuff out so that it's a little easier on him getting into the repeater up here, but I appreciate him doing that. So hopefully he'll get that figured out pretty soon, and we'll get him logged in. I'll take his remote check-in though. We'll call him an IO. All right, very good. Before I do anything else, like get into the actual answer for tonight's joke, is there anybody else that would like to check in? Please call. All right, nothing heard. And tonight's joke, how many trees does it take to make music? My answer is 3, because you need that many to have a trio. A trio. How many trees does it take to make music? You need 3 for a trio. But I like the chord answer better, guys. That was a good one, and I think it's more funny. All right, this is K8PVL with the Wednesday Night Jokenet. And I got a couple quick announcements, and then we'll get into why everybody's really here. Just in case everybody's forgotten, the Area's District 10 Ashtabula County Emergency Services Training Net is every Monday night at 8 p.m. over on the 146715 repeater located high atop a tower in beautiful downtown Jefferson. That has a negative offset and a PL tone of 141.3 and an Echolink node of N8CT-L. Also over on that same repeater is the Ashtabula County Amateur Radio Club's weekly net. That is every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Check them out, 146715 and the PL tone of 141.3. And Echolink is N8CT-L. All right, Amigos Radio Club next, not this coming weekend, but the following weekend on the 25th, we'll be over at the Jefferson Conservation Club for our winter field day festivities. We will be there trying to do everything we possibly can in whatever time frame was allowed. Just come on out. We'll have a big potluck and hang out and pat people on the back, maybe jump on the radio, give people a hand on the radio. That's always welcome. Of course, that's what it's all about. And that's 3600 Stanhope-Kelloggsville Road in Kingsville, and that's 44048. We'll be looking forward to seeing as many people there as we possibly can. All right, that's what I got here announcements-wise. Short list today, not a biggie, so that makes more time to get into why everybody's really here. So let me break for time, and we'll get into that. All right, K8PBL with the Wednesday Night Jokenet, starting off the top of the list of why everybody's really here. Well, actually, we're starting the list off with Chris. KE8YQL, thank you for being here tonight, sir. And what do you got for us?
Hello, everyone. KE8YQL here. I don't have a whole lot for the net. It's good to hear everybody out there, and hope you're staying warm. I'm doing some playing on QRZ here. Been having a lot of trouble recently getting certain contacts to, like, the times right, but I was able to get it going. And get some of Sonny's contacts from the park there confirmed. And, organized the shack. Found a lot of equipment that I forgot I had. So, got to take inventory every once in a while. And I actually have room to work on stuff now. So, looking forward to starting some projects and hopefully some warmer weather. Be safe if you got to go out. And have yourself a great evening, everybody. KE8YQL, back to net control. Thanks, Nemo.
All right, very good. Yeah, timing is important on them contacts, especially through FT8. Absolutely. And I'm sorry, I was scribbling something else down when the rest of things you said, but good comments. Thank you for being here. Stick around. We got a good discussion topic for the evening. All right, we're going down here to KE8DNF. Joe, good to have you with us, sir. Appreciate you being here. What do you got for us? KE8 DNF. Joe, are you still with us?
Go ahead, Mr. Nino. This is K8 DNF.
Alrighty, passing on your comment round there, sir, or do you want us to circle back to you?
Well, all I'm going to say for my comment round is I'm looking forward to next weekend for Winter Field Day. I've about got all the computers done yet again, and then I just found out that there's a new update to the software, so I got to update them all again to the current software and version. But everything I've been testing out all week, it looks like everything is working with all the computers, and we will have them all for Winter Field Day, and hopefully we can make a lot of QSOs and contacts for the event. So other than that, I'll send it back to you, Nemo. This is K8NF.
All right, very good, Joe. Appreciate your hard work on that. It's definitely a really, really appreciated thing by many of us, I know. All right, we'll keep on going down the list. KE8ZVO joining us via Echolink. Thank you so much for taking time out of your weekend and joining us tonight. What do you got? KE8ZVO, Ruth Ann, are you still with us?
I'll figure it out eventually. Just arrived here in the dark. I haven't gotten to see how pretty it is, but my brother's been taking good care of me so far. So, you guys have a good week. I left 5 inches of snow this morning, and I'm looking forward to not seeing that again until Tuesday. KE8ZVO, 73.
All right, very good. Appreciate you joining us, and great job on the Echolink. You figured that right out, and you're jumping right in there with it. Don't worry. There's a special way of Echolink timing that just works, and you just got to give it a minute, and we all have to be patient with that on our end too. All right, and I did say weekend, but I meant vacation. So have a good one, and we'll keep on going. Alpha Delta 8. Oscar India. Vito, welcome back to the group. Appreciate you. And what do you got for us this evening, sir?
I don't have anything, actually. Just trying to wind down for the evening. I got trying to get WSJTX installed on the computer and get that connected onto my 710 to do some digital mode stuff, and planning out I think I'm going to do a fan dipole for a project this winter, and possibly a tape measure Yagi for some fox hunting in the summer, spring and summer.
W8IJC Link.
Both good projects to have, and getting into the digital side of things is pretty cool. I should start doing that now. I got a radio I can do that with, and maybe I should start getting into that a little bit. Put a few more contacts in the logbook, as it were, on the digital side, since I have 0. All right, we'll move up to Jeff. KC8 LAR, good to have you with us tonight, sir. And what do you got?
Good evening, Nemo. Everyone else on the net. Not a whole lot. Trying to take care of some things on a bench. Working on a little audio interface for one of the HTs. See what we can do with that without spending $1 million with the junk part spin and the kind of new part spin. So other than that, not a whole lot going on. Just staying warm and trying to make it through the week. With that, we'll pass it back to Net Control. This is KC8LAR.
All right, KZ8 LAR, thank you again for being here. Good comments, and junk parts are what make the world go round. We'll go down to Wayne, Alpha Charlie 8, Yankee Juliet. Good to have you with us tonight, my friend, and what do you got?
cold this week, and I guess real cold at the beginning of next week. But I'm getting everything ready for field day, make sure everything's charged up and stuff like this. And we got to make sure we get that wood there on Sunday as well. That's really about it. Alpha Charlie 8 Yankee Juliet, back to net control.
All right, very good. Yes, Sunday is wood cutting day. We'll get some wood over there, and we'll load up. I'll go grab the trailer or whatever. We could just fill the bed of the truck. I don't care how we do it, but we'll get it over there and get them all loaded up for the year. Finish that off for them. All right, and we'll keep on going. Dan, N8DRL, good to have you with us tonight, sir. And what are your comments?
Hey, DRL, you still planning on coming over here tomorrow, Nemo?
I believe that's still the plan, sir, yes.
Because that heater's not going to keep up with it when it's this cold.
We might push it off a little bit. I haven't talked to the other side of that, so I'll have to figure that out off net. So I'll send you a message regarding that, but go ahead with your comments otherwise.
There's not a whole lot to report here. Just flying through the day, trying to stay on one side of the wall. Anyhow, everybody be careful out there. It's going to get brutal. The wind is going to start picking up here, too, so be careful out there. N8DRL.
I feel you on the cold and weather thing, man. I've pulled several cars out of the ditch this past week from sliding off the side of the road, and an old man out of a snowbank, and it's a sad day when you got to say 20 degrees is a heat wave, but that's what we're locked into. It looks like for pretty much the rest of the winter, and this cold snap that they say is coming up. They're talking -3 degrees, so everybody do stay safe and be careful out there for sure in the cold weather. Be mindful of that. We'll go down to Sunny, KD8 LHR. Good to have you with us tonight, my friend. What do you got?
The hiccups. Not much, Nemo. Anxious for field day for the event coming up, and like Joe said, he's got all the stuff ready to go with the computers and stuff like that. Everybody remember, it is going to be like a semi-potlucks, smorgasbord, whatever. Bring whatever you want. If you want your own personal drinks, don't put them out on the table. Leave them in your own cooler or whatever, and they'll be your own personals. But if they're out on the tables, they will get shared, which I'm sure nobody ever has a problem with that. I know I don't. Usually when I bring drinks, I put them out on the table. Don't know much of anything other than that. I've been studying for my extra. It's been driving me nuts because I'm still going through the same process as I was before. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but I do good on the section tests, and then when I go to take the actual practice exam, I completely put it in the toilet and flush it. Don't know why, but it is what it is. I'll get it figured out eventually. But with that, I'll turn it back to net control and say 7 trees. I'll be listening out.
Oh, don't listen out. I got a good discussion round tonight, and looking forward to having you stick around. If not, that's okay. But we'll keep on moving on down the list here. Jim, KE8 LFR, good to have you with us, sir. And what do you got?
It's cold. Not a whole lot going on. Just the normal stuff at work. Well, I shouldn't say normal. It's only, Wednesday? I'm on my 4th engine and 2nd transmission. The things winter does. Done a little bit of rearranging on the bench. That's about it. I wish the weather would
like wintertime. I can't deny that personally, but I would like it to be a little warmer than it is. Like, 25 would be nice. I'll take that over 3. And that's 10 degrees, which is what we've been waking up to in the mornings lately. Definitely tears up people's cars, and I'm going to have to get mine in too. Thanks for reminding me. We'll keep on going. KE8ZHH, my neighbor down the road, Frank, good to have you with us, sir. And what do you got?
Hello, everybody. Hope everybody's doing all right through this cold weather. Hope no one's getting sick. I've been keeping the wood burner going as best I can. Staying indoors mostly. Working in my basement. Playing around in there. Down there. And, yeah, that's, think about going ice fishing here. Guess a couple of inland lakes are frozen over and people are out ice fishing. Still got to get my fishing license though. Might do that. Yeah, maybe at the end of the month. And I'm looking forward to field day. It'll be a good time. And I'm gonna have fun during winter field day. Hope everybody else does too, and yeah, that's about it. Send it back to Nemo and net control. Thanks for listening.
All right, very good. Ice fishing, yeah, absolutely. I haven't done that very much, but I have done it a little bit, and I've definitely walked across several frozen ponds and lakes and stuff, and now's a good time for it. I think the ice is pretty thick. I know several of my Amish friends are busy putting ice away in their ice houses right now, and I know a few others that are planning on taking out big chunks this weekend on Saturday there. So just before it gets really cold. All right, we'll keep on going. Tom, welcome again to the group. Appreciate you being here. KE8QWG, thanks for joining us. What do you got?
Oh, good evening, everybody on the net. Not a whole lot. Been in the house a lot here today, just playing on the computer, doing stuff for work, and looking out, watching the snow. Sure is beautiful out there if you don't have to work out in it, which is kind of nice right now. So that's about all I got. I am looking forward to Winterfield Day, 25th. I do plan on being there if at all possible. So with that's about all I got. Back to the net.
All right, very good. Well, it sounds like we're going to have a great turnout that weekend, and I can't wait. I'm very excited about it. It's my favorite event that we do every year, and it signifies the foundation of the Amigos Radio Club, Ashtabula, and all the great people that we have around us. So appreciate you joining in with that. We'll reach out to K8TIE. Dad, good to have you with us tonight, sir. What do you got for us?
See that very often. I'm moving into the living room just out of the den because that's not quite as tight, and at least the living room I've got heavier bedding and stuff like that. Don't have a chairlift yet to get me to the second floor, which would be a little bit warmer. Did have the house insulated, but down here on the first floor, that's where all the cold air goes, and in the den especially. And right now, a lot of the walls are torn out and stuff like that because we're having it treated for black mold and things like that. Right now, taking estimates on the on various contracts for restoring the interior of the house. So, quite a bit going on here. But it's good to be able to get onto the net here and make a fun evening of it. KTIE to KE8PVL, and the Wednesday night Jokenet.
W8IJC Link.
All right, very good. Well, hopefully you get that all squared away soon, and it doesn't become a worse situation than it is. I know you had some work done to the house there, and hopefully they get that all buttoned up for you, and then your drafts go away. All right, Larry. Sorry about that. Jerry, N3 EVT. Good to have you with us, sir. And what are your comments tonight?
Well, Nemo, I've got a story and a question. I brought back a box of radios from Virginia on my last trip, and I finally went into them the other day, and I found an FRS radio, and just out of curiosity, I turned it on, and the battery was still good, hit scan, and as I'm going through other things, the FRS radio ID'd, and that surprised me, and then I realized it was on a GMRS frequency, and I looked it up, and lo and behold, it was Jeff's out there by Giant Eagle. Then I went to Google and looked for FRS radios. $14.99 for a pair of legit GMRS radios, and everybody who touches them makes money on it. How can that be? What must it cost to produce those things? And my question, Nemo, is consider me a city boy, and I assume that a cord depends upon what diameter is of the wood that you've cut. So for my edification, give me an idea of how many pieces of wood of what diameter equals a cord for you.
Okay, so if I'm not mistaken, generally speaking, a cord of wood is considered dimensionally 3 foot by 3 foot by 8 feet long, I believe is the number that we're looking for. So that amount of volume filled with wood is considered a cord. And as far as how cheap it is to produce those things, well, I can only reference you back to the place of origin in which it came from, and the probably the labor involved with that, and so on and so forth. Yeah, so or maybe it's 3 foot by 3 foot by 8 foot, or it might be 4 foot by 4 foot by 8 foot, but it's right in there. It's not much more than that. So hopefully that answers your question, Roger.
Right, so it's volume rather than concerning yourself with the diameter of the wood. All right, very good. Yeah, I guess if you're making $8 a week, you can make a lot of radios and sell them very cheaply. And remember, they've got to ship them halfway around the world. So it's stunning. When I first got into the hobby, you couldn't get anything inexpensively. You had to build it or just drool looking at it. Back to net control in 3VT.
Absolutely. I've been looking at some old designs myself in regards to that, and I'm actually considering about tearing apart some squirrel cages and a cooling unit, and well, we'll see what happens. But I'd like to do something like that at some point. Anyway, that rounds out the list as I have it for the discussion round. Is there anybody else who'd like to check in to the Wednesday Night Jokenet? Please call. All right, nothing heard. This is K8PVL, and I'm going to just go ahead and move into the discussion topic. I was going to talk about that guy up in Idaho who just was kicked down the road with the $30,000 fine, but I think I found something much more, a little brighter note to talk about than that. There was a couple other things that I've seen in the radio world that that I wouldn't mind talking about, but I think this is probably the most important to me. So, Walters State College in Tennessee has started offering, as part of their course curriculum, amateur radio classes. They're training people to be amateur radio operators at the community colleges down there, and that's a wonderful thing. Personally, I think it should be an elective as a STEM course in the high school, but man, it's awesome to see that, like, the community college level people have recognized it somewhere. They just started it. Their first class was yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, and it's a 10 2-hour classes to test into technician class, and they test you in, and obviously there's the appropriate fees for that, but the class itself is, from what I understand, not much more than the actual fees. So that's a really wonderful thing. They've realized down there in Tennessee this is really kind of a response to the hurricane response thing that happened down there, and the fact that it was amateur radio operators that left the impression on them that that's the way to go in emergency situations, because those were the only forms of comms that people could use to talk to each other up on mountains where only billy goats could go. So good for them for recognizing that. Again, I think it should be down in the high school level as an elective STEM, maybe a half-point elective credit, but that's just me. Maybe send it over to the computer classes if they even have those anymore, and it doesn't just involve watching cat videos on TikTok or whatever. But I'm glad to see that this community college is recognizing the need for that and promoting amateur radio out in the community and getting people geared up for it. And the people who are training this class, I looked into that too. They're 160 years of amateur radio operators, I think, and the other one was like a 40-year amateur radio operator. So some guys with some good experience in the door there too. So that's what I got tonight, and that's what we could talk about. We'll go down to Chris, KE8YQL. How about it, man? Is this some good news? Walters State Community College offering ham radio classes. Oh, KE8YQL, are you still with us? All right, well, nothing heard there. Hopefully everything's working out good for him on his end. I know he was talking about not having a whole bunch of heat in there for his ham shack there, but that's all right. We'll go down to Joe, K8DNF. Are you still with us, sir?
Here is K8DNF, Nemo.
All right, we're talking about Walters State Community College now offering ham radio classes, and it's being taught by some guys that been in the ham radio business for a while, and I like to say we're trained amateurs, and these guys are recognizing that requires some training. So what are your thoughts there?
Well, my thoughts on that, I don't know what my thoughts are on that. I've never had a college do that, and because I've been in college too, but I don't know an answer to that one, Nemo.
All right, very good. Well, the best I've heard of was colleges offering, as part of like a student club, like the radio club. I know Case Western Reserve University has a radio club, and they run a repeater down there, and they license up amateur radio operators, but it's sort of separate from the school itself. It's not part of the curriculum. And in this particular case, they've advanced it to that level, so I can appreciate that happening. We'll go down to KE8ZVO. Ruth Ann, if you're still with us, what are your thoughts?
Hi, KE8VVO. I'm still figuring out how long it takes to tap on this one place to bring me in. I like that idea a lot. I think that community college and A-Tech are the way to go on actually educating people. And I think you have more people who are in practical positions in those community colleges. And so you'll find more who are ready to pick that up. And so I think it'll add to the community. Back to net, KE8VVO.
W8IJC Link.
All right, add it to the curriculum, maybe as a sub-course in something with the emergency services guys over there. That's not a bad idea with the A-Tech stuff going on. Vito, Alpha Delta 8, Oscar India, good to have you with us tonight, sir. And what are your thoughts? Walter State Community College now offering ham radio classes.
I think that's pretty awesome. I think it should be done more, kind of bring it more into the eyes of the younger generations. That'll help get them involved, or at least pique their interest in it a little bit more. And I think it could help everybody grow, or help the hobby grow more, for sure. And I'm definitely looking forward to Winter Field Day. Back to that.
All right, very good. Yeah, and a lot of the community colleges, you know, they do have, like, when we're talking about the younger folks, so to speak, they do have juniors and seniors in high school level, like coming up to nowadays they have them coming up to the community colleges to take more advanced courses, and that at least gives them the access to it too, keeping it down on the age brackets there so that the younger guys get a chance to take a look at it. We'll move over to Jeff, KC8 LAR. How about it, sir? Walter State Community College, and they're now offering ham radio classes.
It's interesting. I think it's a great idea. It's starting out at the community college level and making it affordable if somebody's interested. I wish them well in that endeavor. I'd like to see that other places. I know that a lot of the local community colleges offer a lot of classes on a lot of things that interest people, and I applaud them for adding that to the list. I think it's a great idea. And with that, we'll pass it back to Net Control. This is KC8LAR.
All right, very good. Yeah, they are offering the course really, really inexpensively. They're really offering the whole course for $45 and a $15 test fee, and that's it. And I don't know how they're exactly getting away with that, because all the test fees changed. Maybe they're just helping out with the test fee as part of the $45. I don't know, but man, it's great. I think that they're doing that. So we'll move on down to Wayne, Alpha Charlie 8 Yankee Juliet. You're a community college teacher, I believe, and what are your thoughts on it?
I think it's a good idea. Anything gets more people into it, that's not a bad, idea. And having classes helps legitimize it to the public. As for how it's so cheap, they're probably getting some kind of federal grant or something. The college is probably getting some money from somebody to teach it. It's not a bad thing. It's just there's a lot of stuff out there like that. Might be getting something from FEMA or some state agency or something like that. That's really about it. Sort of been Net Control, Alpha Charlie, Yankee Juliet.
All right, so they're got to be getting some funding from somewhere to cover the rest of that cost, and I'm not sure. I disagree with you on that. We'll go down to we'll go down to Dan, N8DRL. Are you still with us, sir?
Here's a word from the sponsor. believe it's an awesome thing. I wish when I was in high school they would have something like that. I was out at the vocational school out in Jefferson. They call it ACJVS back when I was there. I wish you would have that back then, because I took the electronics course that was there. I would love to get into the ham radio back then. And I think all back to net control.
All right, very good. Absolutely, I think a lot of people will jump into it now, and people who think the hobby is dying, I don't think they're paying attention. The hobby is growing as far as I'm concerned. I'm willing to bet there's more amateur radio operators now than there has been for a long time, and for me, I was into the media development stuff, not so much on the radio side, but I'm glad it's in there. I'm glad it's in there, and yeah, it should have been an option for me too, sort of, when I was in school. You'd have thought. Anyway, Sonny, KD8 LHR, good to have you with us, sir. Hopefully, you've hung out this long and you're gonna have something good to say. WSCC offers ham radio classes. What are your thoughts, sir?
Let me try to put this radio friendly for the situation here. If you remember correctly, I had contacted the school board and all that good stuff about us, the Amigos, coming into the school and doing that exact thing. And they turned us down. Said it wouldn't be, what was the word that they said? I can't remember the exact word they said, Nemo, but you and I, we spoke about it this was about a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago. And so I think it's a good thing, personally. But as far as the schools up here, they can... I'll just leave it at that little moment of silence there. That's pretty much all I got to say on the subject. Thanks for picking me up. Back net control.
All right, very good. Well, I can't say that I disagree with you and that I don't think that ham radio classes are needed in the community somewhere. I think I see enough people coming online here with their licenses that it should be something taken a little more seriously by the educational system, especially given all of its uses and its applications. And it's STEM. It's STEM. They should want it. But hey, that's my thought. All right, we'll keep on going down the list. KE8 LFR, Jim, thank you for being here tonight. And Walter State College, how are you feeling about that, offering ham radio classes there?
Well, I think it's a great idea. I think more colleges should do it. Heck, I think they should move it to high school and the junior high classes. That would be awesome. Just got to figure out how to present it, I guess, would be the word or the thing. But yeah, that would be awesome. K8 LFR, back to net.
All right, very good on that. Absolutely, I think they should do it in the high school classes too. By the time I got to high school, the only classes I cared about was science and the AV courses, and the AV stuff was just free electives to do what I wanted to do with, and that was it. I didn't care about any of the rest of it. All right, keep it on going down the list. We'll go out to Frank, K8 ZHH. How about it, man? Walter State Community College now offering ham radio classes.
I think it's a cool idea, and I agree with Jim. Should be able to do it in high school and vocational school. Hopefully it'll spread and get more younger hams out there. And yeah, it's a good thing. I ain't got nothing against it. And
All right, yeah, Tech General in an extra class, absolutely. Take them all the way. As far as I know right now, they're only talking about a technician class there, but I don't see if that's successful. I'd be willing to bet that they'll jump into the other two license categories as well. All right, we'll move over to Tom, KE8QWG. Good to have you with us tonight, sir. What are your thoughts?
I think it's a great idea. You take a look at this country and the way things are going, I think it's one step towards a little bit of self-sufficiency. A lot of these kids nowadays, they didn't grow up like we do. They come home from school, they sit in a room, they play on their computers, they don't have a network to get to know people or to learn or to offer what they know and to ask the questions. I think that's a really good idea for them. That's about all I got. Back to net.
All right, very good. Yeah, I think given the state of the world today, I think it's great, reaching out to all these foreign countries and talking to just normal folks there and not having to deal with the overhead of the situations as they were, and just realizing that we're all just folks trying to do the best we can. All right, we'll keep on going. KE8TIE, Dad, good to have you with us. How about it? You did amateur radio stuff in school, and so maybe you could shed a little bit of positivity and light on it. Go ahead.
I was back a little bit before things really kind of got tightened up. And also I went to a parochial school, which might be an idea of an alternate educational institute type to approach, because they are less structured. And I had one physics teacher who was an amateur radio operator. He had one rig there. I was listening to it, picking up stations all over the place, and very, very interesting. Almost blew my ears out when they fired up a Tesla coil at the other end of the physics lab. But he would go down to the then Dayton Hamvention every spring and pick up and load up his van full of stuff and bring it back and stuff it in the attic of the building. So there was lots of junk material, command transmitters out of aircraft, all kinds of World War II surplus stuff. Then I picked up an amateur radio handbook. Took my amateur license the first year. Took the technician class right away at the end of the year. And granted,
W8IJC link.
As far as I could go, because I couldn't copy code fast. I just couldn't. Break for time. It was just the guy who was in the physics department happened to be a ham. And at that time, everybody was upgrading their television sets every 2 or 3 years because technology was changing so fast. So I picked up a couple of those things from TV repair shops, knocked off the little tab at the bottom of the base to evacuate the picture tubes, and then scrapped parts from all those. Everything was discrete parts then. And that was kind of the way you got stuff, junk parts. Yeah, okay, but all the resistors and stuff like that, most of the capacitors were still quite good, because in a few years, the TVs changed so much, everybody wanted a new one in 3 years. So yeah, that was good. So that was how I got into it. And in fact, our school was kind of took up the STEM, the intellectual parochial high schools were still interested in all the ancient literature, Greek and the tragedies and things like that. Whereas the ordinary bookkeeping school just extended the math department to a much better degree. They had one calculus grade class. I took college algebra, which touched on calculus at the end of the year. And I was designing my own equipment within that time, and I had parts available. I think some tubes I had to actually buy because they were radio frequency transmitting tubes. But others, they were available in all these old TV sets, and you check them out on the tube checker, and if they were okay, great, use them. And actually the design was easier and simpler than with vacuum tubes because they are all based on the geometry of the electrodes and things, much more consistent than a transistor, where the current gain could change from say 50 to 3 or 400, and well, there was a different way you had to design the circuits, which I learned that too. So you can have the person interested in what he can get and have fun with the electronics that he can configure to his own wishes and desires, and sees himself profiting by his efforts to design, build, operate something. That's a much better motivation for learning than trying to cram something down on somebody's throat and tell them that they've got a test at the end of the week. Just, that's the feeling on the whole thing. KTNE, back to KE8PVL and Wednesday Night Jokenet.
All right, very good. Yeah, give them a reason to want to do it. That's for sure. And there's plenty of them, and there's still a lot you can do. And although most of us are what a lot of the older hams would call appliance operators, and I probably fall into that category to some extent. To be honest with you, though, it's there's a lot to it, and if you want to take it all the way up and build your own radios out of scrap, that's what we're here to do. That's one of the things that's part of this hobby still. I know kits were a thing for me when I found out that there weren't any more kits except for a few little QRP things that you just slap together. It's not really a kit. You screw the board on to the case and turn it on. But hey, anyway, N3 EVT Jerry, thanks for joining us tonight again. And you've got a box of radios, I'm sure. But what are your thoughts? Walter State Community College now offering ham radio classes.
For anyone who has old QST magazines, if you go to the very back in the classified section, there was always an ad for a high school in the Bronx. And if I remember the call correctly, it was WB2, maybe JKJ. It was always looking for donations. So they had a serious ham club in that high school in the Bronx. I'm told Madison High School used to have a ham radio club in the school. And it always puzzled me that there was not such a class or club at ATEC in Jefferson. That would be obvious. When you make the pitch to these folks, you can't interfere with their curriculum, which is tight, and you can't require that they expend any money. But we have enough amateurs in the county with enough surplus equipment. That wouldn't be hard to... It wouldn't be difficult to supply a station with sufficient equipment and expertise as well. So it's a good idea. You just have to find the person to present it and the person to accept the idea. You've got to find that connection in order to make it successful. Back to net control.
Absolutely. I feel you on that. There's some 6 degrees of separation things that going on there for sure, and sometimes it's just about finding the right person who wants to support your cause and see the use in it. Absolutely, especially up here where we've got kind of a depressed area, but and not a lot of resources out there. So feel you on that. All right, this is KE8 PBL with the Wednesday Night Jokenet, and we're in the discussion round, and that it rounds out the list as I have it. I think I got to everybody. Is there anybody I missed, or anybody who'd like to recheck, or anybody who wants to check in? Please call.
Here is Kilo Delta 3 Sierra Hotel KD3SH.
KD3SH, stand by. I've got you logged in for the net. Thank you for joining us tonight. There was another station in there with you. Come again with your call, please.
KE8YQL.
KE8YQL, I've got you in there for a recheck. Just hang on a minute. Anybody else? All right, very good. KD3 Sierra Hotel, thank you for joining us tonight. That's a call I don't recognize, so can I get a name for the log, please?
Yeah, handle here is Dawn, December, October, November. Handle's Dawn, located in Conneaut.
All right, Don, thank you for joining us tonight. Right up the road from us in beautiful Conneaut, Ohio, where the lighthouse is majestically looking over the almost frozen inland sea. All right. Well, you're checking in a little towards the end here, but tonight's joke is how many trees does it take to make music? And we did our comment round, so please feel free to go ahead with your comments. Welcome to the group there. And we're currently discussing Walter State Community College now offering ham radio classes. So go right ahead, sir. Take it away.
Good evening to the group. I just happened to tune in here tonight. I've been copying the mail for a while, and let me share a real quick personal experience with you guys. When I went to the York Vo-Tech School down in York, Pennsylvania, the teacher for the electronics course was James Strauss. He owned JRS Distributors, which was an amateur radio equipment dealer and distributor for the central Pennsylvania, northern Baltimore surrounding area. And so naturally, with his being heavily involved in amateur radio sales and service, he created a ham radio club. Now, one of the things that was unique about the York Vo-Tech is on Wednesdays, the last period of the day was dedicated to what they called clubs, and there was sports car club and print shop and all different types of clubs. People even in the mason trades, the carpentry trades. So that last 45-minute period of the day was dedicated to all the different clubs. So you reported to whatever room your club met in. So we had the ham radio club. Hold on. I'm not sure what the timer is on this. Let me grab another nickel's worth. And that worked out real good. I got my novice call in 10th grade in shop class, which was also, I was in the electronics course, so I just simply stayed in the same room on Wednesdays for the amateur radio club. Started off WN3SOH back when the novices had the letter N in their call. Later on, I upgraded to technician. WB3BIO was the call at that time. I kept that call for a another guy interested in ham radio, one of my coworkers in the later years, once I was out of school and in the working field. And I got him doing code at about 7 words a minute, so we tested down in Baltimore. He got his novice, and at the same time I upgraded to first to general and then to advanced, which I have now. Hold on, let me grab another nickel here. Yeah, I'll have to ask you guys. I don't know what the timeout is on this repeater. So at that time, I went to I actually, what did they do to me? I think I kept the WB3BIO call sign even with an advanced ticket. Then eventually I failed to renew, and I was within the 1-year grace period. So when they reissued my call, they sent me basically a hatogram that said your call sign, if we choose to renew it, will be different. Anyway, that's when I ended up with KD3SH, the 2x2 advanced call. I've heard a rumor they're going to upgrade all of us to extra class, but I don't know that for a fact. So anyway, yeah, offering an amateur radio course, they should do that. And as was mentioned here earlier while I was copying the mail, any high school that has some sort of extracurricular type activity, not football, baseball, but some sort of clubs like the York Votech School had, or even ATEC, if they have anything like that. I think it's very, very worthwhile. And as for the guy who said about taking parts out of TV sets, my dad owned a TV repair shop, so that's where the majority of my parts came from. I also joined the Keystone VHF Club, located on the top of Mount Zion Hill at Rocky Ridge Park in York, Pennsylvania. And the club was more than willing to donate all the World War II surplus parts and pieces I could possibly carry home. So, hey, that's my spiel for the evening. Good to be with you guys. I've attended the Amigos Ham Fest down there at the Pioneer Picnic Grounds several times. So, hey, with that, I'm going to jump off of here. Glad to be with you tonight. Take care. 73's from KD3SH. I'll stick around and copy the mail.
All right, very good. Man, that's great, and welcome to the group. I know your first time checking into the net here. Appreciate you, absolutely. In my high school, we had an AV club, and that was pretty much. There were other clubs, but they were like stamp collecting, and that kind of stuff. And they never prioritized any of that stuff. It was always outside of school hours by the time I got there anyway. Timeout on this repeater, I think it's actually like 5 minutes, but I ask everybody to respect a 2-minute timeout just to be on the safe side. And then thank you for shouting out the Hamfest. We work hard on that every year to make it happen, and it's good to hear that people are enjoying it. All right, we've got K8YQL. Chris, you've got in there with a recheck, so go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Mo. Thanks for the recheck. Sorry I missed the comment round there. My turn, anyway. I stepped out there for a minute to check on the animals. But anyway, I think that introducing people to it as early as possible is really the best way to get more amateurs into the hobby. And I say that just my limited experience. I did grow up with like an FRS radio in the house, but we weren't allowed to like play with it. And then anyway, we had some people. I remember having radios in their car, like, but specifically like CB, and they kind of were like phones. Anyway, and that's about. I don't know, all I was introduced to it, and I really didn't understand the whole of what it is. And I think even now, a lot of people try to, I guess, dumb it down. I don't mean to use that term but I don't know, they kind of dumb down what the hobby is to try to get people involved in a way that is user-friendly and understandable for, like, the lowest level of, intelligence, and then it kind of takes away from a lot of what ham radio is, like, fully capable of, too, because there's so many different things, like, that I haven't even, like, explored yet. I mean, you'd think, I know K8TIE mentioned the TV and stuff, but not just television, like RC, and then digital, and I mean, there's just so many different avenues of radio. So anyway, do all that you can, and try to get people involved. It's hard to get people that want to test, but at least with Morse code being removed from the credentials there, or the, I guess, requirements, you don't need it. I think more people are getting involved more with that, but I think it is like a lost art in itself, CW, and I think it's important that we keep that around too. So anyway, I would like to start practicing CW, and I've had a pinned note on my corkboard for I don't know, a couple of years now, probably like almost 2 years, whenever I got my station here. And so anyway, just practice, KE8YQL. We'll return this repeater back to the net. Thanks, Nemo.
All right, Chris, thank you. And KE8PVL with the Wednesday Night Jokenet. Man, making them understand that it's all part of the same thing. If anybody wants to go into, even the phone, yeah, we do a lot of crazy stuff on our phones now. It seems like it's all magic internet, whatever. And in fact, I hate when I see commercials on television and they're like, oh, we use our techno wizardry, or we wave our magic wand, and it just happens. No. We've gone somewhere from, and I appreciate your point on that, from this is how it works to, oh, look, it's just magic. And that's really kind of the way it is. I can only relate, from my own experience of going through my junior high school. And in my junior high school, we had science labs that did all kinds of cool stuff, not just fake volcanoes, but we had shop classes. My junior high school shop class had a full wood shop with rejoiners, planers, radio alarm saws, wood lathes. I mean, like 7 wood lathes and like 3 radio alarm saws and 2 sanding stations. And when you did wood shop, you learned basic drafting so that you had an idea what you were building, and then you went into the wood shop and you built it. And some kids made birdhouses. Some kids made other stuff. They made wood burning signs, and a lot of us made the paddles for the next year's students. But they don't let you do that anymore. Anyway, by the time my daughter got there, 22 years later, they didn't have any of that stuff. And even just between me and my oldest sister going into high school, when I got into high school, let me break it. When I got up to the high school level, it was a book. It was like the size of a magazine, the course curriculum. And by the time my sister got there, which was only a few years after me, like maybe 5, maybe 6, it was a page in the school newspaper. It was a full page centerfold literally in the school newspaper, and that was just ridiculous. And like I know they're trying to bring a lot of that stuff back, and I hope they do, because we were better off for it in the long run. That's my soapbox on that, and I'm going to step off of it. This is K8PVL with the Wednesday Night Jokenet, and is there anybody else that would like to check in, or anybody else that would like to recheck? Please call.
KE8CVO.
W8IJC Link.
KE8ZVO, good to have you with us. I mean, you know, obviously. But go ahead with your recheck.
Hi, I was going to say that Ken tried to check in a couple of times on Echolink. He was finally successful. And as I got in now, he just checked out. So he did try tonight. That's all I have. KE8ZVO.
All right, copy that. And I did see him trying to check in on the Echolink server. I'm not exactly sure what was going on with him there. Hopefully he figures that out. I know most of the time he doesn't have any trouble. Maybe it's got something to do with the internet down there in Andover right now. I really can't answer that question off the top of my head without talking to him more and maybe trying to figure it out more directly. All right, one last call. Anybody want to check in or recheck? Please call.
KD3SH, what is your Echolink? What's the call letters for the Echolink? Because I usually check in with the ErieNet, also W3GV. Yeah, if you could give me that, I could check in on Echolink. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Although your RF signal sounds pretty clear, I don't think there's going to be any issues with that. But the Echolink node is W8IJC-L. It's W8IJC-L. Got it there.
Copy that. Thank you. KD3SH.
All right, very good. I'm going to go ahead and put a bow on it. Thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. I really appreciate each and every one of you. Man, we have a good list, and the list keeps growing, and man, it's great. We have great discussions, great time laughing at the jokes and everything, and man, I couldn't do it without you guys being here. I would just be sitting here by myself talking into the air, and that wouldn't be very fun. But I'd also like to thank Tom at NCT for the use of this repeater, and everybody currently serving and retired from service to this country. Your sacrifices will not be forgotten. And man, this is K8PVL. I'll return the repeater back over to normal amateur radio use, whatever that might be. Be good to each other, everybody. KE8PVL is clear.